October 22nd, 2137 BCE. The royal court of Zhongkang, Emperor of China, sits in total panic in the city of Zhenshun. Above them, a massive, invisible mouth is slowly eating the sun. Terrified citizens bang bronze pots, shoot arrows into the sky, and scream to scare away the invisible dragon. Two men, he and Ho, sit unconscious in a local tavern, entirely drunk on rice wine. They are the imperial astronomers. It is their sole job to predict this moment so the emperor can prepare the rituals to save the sun. They failed. This is the story of how ancient humans confronted the sudden disappearance of their primary light, turning cosmic mechanics into terrifying monsters, divine warnings, and blood-soaked executions. To understand the panic, look at the sky from their perspective. The sun is the only reliable constant in an unpredictable world. It dictates when to plant, when to sleep, and when winter arrives. When it suddenly vanishes in the middle of a clear afternoon, reality breaks. Darkness falls in minutes. The temperature drops by as much as 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Birds return to their nests to roost, thinking night has fallen. Crickets begin to chirp. Stars blink into existence next to a blackened disk surrounded by a ghostly silver ring of fire. To an ancient mind, this is not an orbital alignment. It is the end of cosmic order. For the ancient Chinese, the explanation was clear. A celestial dragon was hungry. The word for eclipse, qi, literally translates to eat. The safety of the empire depended entirely on knowing exactly when this hunger would strike. When the sun vanished unexpectedly in 2137 BCE, the imperial guards dragged the drunken astronomers He and Ho out of the tavern. Emperor Zhongkang ordered their immediate execution by decapitation. Their heads were placed on pikes. The state protocol required precision because a surprise eclipse meant the emperor was losing the mandate of heaven, the divine right to rule. If the public believed the gods rejected the ruler, rebellion followed. Across the globe, other civilizations saw different beasts in the shadows. In northern Europe, the Vikings looked at the darkening sky and saw two giant wolves named Skål and Hati. Skål pursued the sun across the sky every single day, while Hati chased the moon. Usually the celestial bodies stayed just out of reach. But occasionally the wolves caught up, sinking their teeth into the glowing spheres. To save the sun, Viking villagers ran out of their wooden longhouses, banging shields and howling loudly to terrify the wolves into dropping their prey. It worked every time. The sun always returned, reinforcing the belief that human noise kept the universe functioning. In the Americas, the Maya approached the phenomenon with a mixture of advanced math and deep spiritual dread. They called the solar eclipse Chibalkin, meaning the eating of the sun. To them, the sun was being destroyed by a giant cosmic jaguar. Unlike many other ancient cultures, the Maya did not just scream at the sky, they calculated it. By the 11th century, Mayan priests recorded eclipse cycles inside the Dresden Codex, a screenfold book made of bark paper. They discovered the 11,593-day cycle that contains 23 solar eclipses. Despite this mathematical mastery, the physical event remained a time of extreme danger. The priests conducted bloodletting rituals, piercing their own tongues and ears with stingray spines to offer life force to the dying sun god, Kinich Ahau. Further north, the Pomo tribe, living in what is now California, had a more casual explanation. They believed a giant black bear was walking along the Milky Way. The bear met the sun in the sky and began to argue about who had the right of way. The argument turned physical, and the massive bear bit the sun, blocking its light. The Pomo called the event "Sun Bitten by a Bear." After the fight ended and the paths cleared, the bear continued its walk, moving on to encounter the moon a few weeks later, causing a lunar eclipse. In ancient India, the explanation was born from a cosmic heist. According to the Mahabharata, the gods and demons worked together to churn the ocean of milk to extract Amrita, the nectar of immortality. The demon Rahu managed to steal a sip of the nectar, but the sun and moon witnessed the theft and immediately ratted him out to the god Vishnu. Before the nectar could pass down Rahu's throat, Vishnu threw a spinning razor-sharp disc called the Sudarshana chakra, cleanly severing Rahu's head from his body. Because the nectar had touched his mouth, the head remained immortal while the body died. The immortal head of Rahu now flies through space, forever chasing the sun and moon out of pure revenge. When he catches them, he swallows them whole. But because he has no throat, the sun simply slips out of the bottom of his severed neck a few minutes later, restoring the light. While some cultures saw monsters, others saw a direct message from the divine. In ancient Mesopotamia, around the 8th century BCE, Babylonian astronomers tracked eclipses using clay tablets. They viewed an eclipse as an unambiguous warning of upcoming disaster, specifically targeting the life of the king. To protect the real ruler, the Babylonians enacted a highly specific ritual called the substitute king. The priest identified a peasant or a prisoner, dressed him in the royal robes, placed the crown on his head, and seated him on the throne. Meanwhile, the real king went into hiding, posing as a commoner. The substitute king enjoyed all the luxuries of the palace for a few weeks, absorbing the bad omen meant for the crown. Once the eclipse danger passed, the substitute king was quietly executed, ensuring the prophecy was fulfilled without harming the true monarch. In ancient Greece, the perspective shifted from royal warnings to absolute terror. The word eclipse comes from the Greek eklypsis, meaning abandonment, or failing to appear. The Greeks believed an eclipse meant the gods were completely abandoning the earth in anger. The historian Herodotus records an event in 585 BCE during a brutal 6-year war between the Medes and the Lydians in modern-day Turkey. On May 28th, as the two armies clashed on the battlefield, the sky turned to pitch darkness. The soldiers looked up, dropped their swords, and immediately stopped fighting. They interpreted the event as a divine command to end the slaughter. A peace treaty was signed on the spot, sealed by a double marriage between the two kingdoms. Not all ancient peoples viewed the event with violent terror. The Inuit of the Arctic regions believed the sun goddess, Melina, had an argument with her brother, the moon god Anningan. After the dispute, Melina ran away into the sky, and Anningan chased her. A solar eclipse was simply the moment the brother caught up with his sister, resulting in a brief cosmic embrace. In West Africa, the Batamaliba people of Togo and Benin hold a philosophy that places the responsibility entirely on human behavior. They believe that the sun and the moon are engaged in a violent conflict, driven by the anger and fighting of humans on Earth. When an eclipse occurs, the Batamaliba gather together to resolve old feuds, settle arguments, and make peace with their neighbors. They believe that by demonstrating harmony on Earth, they encourage the sun and moon to stop fighting and restore peace to the sky. As the centuries progressed, the monsters slowly faded into geometry. By the 4th century BCE, the Greek philosopher Anaxagoras correctly deduced that the moon was blocking the sun, noting that the moon did not possess its own light but merely reflected the sun's rays. He was promptly arrested and sentenced to death in Athens for impiety, as his explanation stripped the event of its divine nature. The truth was too mechanical for a world that preferred gods. Ancient humans spent thousands of years creating elaborate myths, sacrificing animals and executing astronomers to fix a sky they broke with their own imaginations. They looked up at the black sun and saw monsters eating their light, never realizing they were staring at a simple shadow cast by a rock 240,000 miles away. We smile at their terror, confident in our spreadsheets, orbital mechanics, and satellite data. Yet, when the shadow falls today, millions still gather in fields, stopping their modern work to stare upward in silent, breathless awe. We are no longer afraid of the dragon, but the absolute stillness of a blackened afternoon still holds the exact same power over us. The modern world disappears for 3 minutes, leaving us with a chilling realization about the fragile predictability of our lives.